Today we're going to be going over Growlithe and Hisuian Growlithe. If you're wondering why last video there was no, what's its name? Annihilate? Yeah. Why there's no Annihilate video? We're doing it in Dex order. Annihilate is a lot later. But it will be coming if I'm still doing it at that point, which, I mean, I don't even know. I haven't even finished Kanto yet. And currently, as of this recording time, it's 3rd of June. So, anyway, let's get into this. Growlithe, 10 AC, pretty low, and hit points are pretty low. 10 AC, 12 hit points, 40-foot move speed, all his stats and stuff. And then, of course, the traits. Finally, into something slightly more interesting. Water susceptibility is a generally common ability. It's basically for every gallon they come into contact with, they take 1 cold damage, because it's a fire type. Smelling emotions. Now, in the Pokédex, it talks about how it can tell how someone is feeling based on their smell. So, it's a lot of talk about its smelling abilities in the Pokédex entry, so it's got both that and keen smell, so it gains advantage on checks involving scent. Intimidate is its next one. If a creature starts their turn within 20 feet of Growlithe, they have -1 to all saving throws for 1 round. Flash Fire. If Growlithe takes fire damage, instead it takes no damage at all, and gains advantage on its next attack roll. So that is good, of course. But what you could do is, this is a really weird specific scenario that probably wouldn't even be optimal. But let's say if you had some even weaker monsters that just did like 1 fire damage or whatever, you could do it to the Growlithe, get them stronger, then do that. But I don't know why you would. But if you can. Justified, if hit by an attack that does necrotic damage, gets advantage to attack rolls. You can see a common theme of advantage on attack rolls. It's because it's an attacky Pokemon. It's got both Bite and Ember, Bite being piercing damage and melee, and Ember being ranged fire. And bonus action, Growl. Growl, because it's in its name. Growlithe growls as a single creature within 15 feet. The creature must succeed a DC 10 Wisdom saving throw or suffer -1 to attack and damage rolls for 1 minute. This is a bonus action, by the way. It doesn't sound this bad, but this does not stack. I didn't think I needed to state it. Real quick fun fact. In Gen 1, I don't know if this is still the case. We're gonna have a look. Growlithe cannot learn Growl. It's Leah, not Growl though. I think that's bullshit, so it gets it on my step up. Doesn't even get it by breeding. No special moves, no nothing. That's ridiculous. What the fuck, Game Freak? Anyway, Hisuian Growlithe. Let's compare those stats. Has slightly higher hit points. And slightly slower. Slightly higher strength. Slightly slower, but not to a point where it matters. Slightly higher con, but not to a point where it matters. And then onto this. Water susceptibility. Flash Fire. Intimidate. What does it not have? It doesn't have Justified. But I believe there is another ability that would have, but I just removed. Rockhead, let me just remember what Rockhead, so maybe I can remember why I removed it. Prevents recoil damage. Yes, this is because it doesn't have any recoil damage. And I was like, oh, maybe does extra damage? No, but that would just be worked into the stat box. So, instead it just, does more damage with its bite. And that's about the only difference other than the lack of one of its abilities, and obviously the stat differences, and the resistances as well. It doesn't have any weaknesses though, which is pretty cool. And it is immune to fire, as you can see here. Yeah, that's the only differences. Thank you so much for watching. We'll get on to Arcanine next time.